What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for December 5th, 2022. I'm your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining us right here on your Monday nights, wherever you may be. That's right, guys. We're back on the Monday Night Raw post show. Um, we missed last week. I was not feeling up to it. I thought Monday Night Raw was a good show last week, very much better than what it has been over the last couple of weeks for sure. But I just wasn't feeling up to it that night, and we just weren't going to be able to make it for the show. But we are back here tonight on the Monday Night Raw post show for OTB. They really focused on the Raw Women's Championship, which, while that's not a bad idea, I'm not gonna say that that's a bad idea in any type of way because Bianca Belair is obviously a great champion. She's obviously the EST. She knows what she is doing, and she needs a challenger for the Raw Women's Championship at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. But other than that, I'm gonna be completely fair with you guys. There wasn't really much other focus on the show tonight. It was really just the Raw Women's Championship, the two triple threats, and then that was kind of it. Nothing else kind of really stood out to me. Obviously, other than the Bloodline. I mean, the Bloodline were fantastic tonight. Sammy, he's incredible at what he does. The Usos are fantastic in the ring. Kevin Owens was a nice surprise to be uh, Riddle's partner in the tag team championship match instead of Elias. But other than that, I, not much else happened on the show tonight. It's not that I expected, like, the barn burner of a Monday Night Raw like we had been getting prior with the Triple H era, but I didn't I didn't see anything else other than the Bloodline and the two triple threat matches that really excited me tonight. We got our guest here too. I there he is, brother. Let's go.
yes. It's your boy Discount Monte Sports. He did Gatsby. Um, I'm not gonna lie. My favorite part of the show, well, besides seeing my father, of course, because anytime he's on screen, you gotta acknowledge. But Solo Sokoa,
Yes,
absolutely murdering Matt Riddle. Sorry, Marissa, I know you hated that, but great
I saw her
Umaga
reactions.
homage, and yeah, loved it.
Yeah. Um, How do you feel about them really focusing on that Raw Women's Championship? Like I said, I don't think it's a bad idea by any means.
Mhm.
It's just that with them only focusing really on that tonight, obviously the tag team titles on the line were on the line as well, but like that, along with only really focusing on that Raw Women's Championship, getting those two triple threat matches out of the way to focus on to next week. Nothing else really happened on the show tonight for me, or at least anything really that caught my eye, like intriguing type of way. So how do you feel about that?
Me personally, I love when we put more eyes on the women's division. Everybody knows I'm a big advocate for the women's division of any
I
company.
am as well. Yes.
So I love seeing this because it shows just how important that Raw Women's title is.
Yes.
Everybody's gunning for it. So I love to see that. Even though, also, I think it's nice that, well, correct me if I'm wrong, I had to tune in and out, but I think it's nice that, I don't want to say that we didn't see Bianca today, but that we were able to still showcase and spotlight the women's division without her here tonight.
Yeah. She did a backstage interview with Kathy Kelly
Okay.
earlier on in the night where she was basically saying, well, her prediction, so to speak, on who was going to win that second triple threat, which was the main event tonight. Um, she went through all the opponents, but she basically said, listen, at the end of the day, I don't really care who wins because I stay ready, uh, so that I don't have to get ready, type of deal. And she kind of just left it at that. Um, I do have to say that focusing on Roman's championship is something special. I mean, we gotta focus on, the women as well because,
Mhm.
like you said, that they have a space in the show, whether anybody wants it or not. To be fair, and all 6 women tonight: Bayley, Becky, I was gonna say Charlotte, um, Asuka, Alexa, Nikki. There's one more. Okay. Oh yeah, Rhea. Of course, Rhea. They all killed it tonight. Both of the triple threat matches to start off. Not really to start off the show, right? Yeah. We started and ended one. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Both triple threat matches. I really do believe that they killed it tonight, and we're gonna be getting a great match between Alexa Bliss and Bayley next week on Raw. I think it's gonna be great. How do you feel about Bayley winning that first one? I know a lot of people weren't really all that happy about it at first.
I would say we're getting on the verge of repetitive because
Okay.
it's not like one of those things that's like Bailey gets a win, Bianca gets a win, back and forth. It was always Bianca beat Bailey. So now it's kind of getting a little bit on the repetitive side. But the way I see it, with Becky involved now too, even though she didn't win tonight, but she started her thing with Bailey. I'm pretty sure Becky's going to cost Bailey the match next week, so I'm cool with Bailey winning tonight. But I'm starting to see it as kind of a Orton Triple H Cena type thing.
Interesting. Okay. I thought that Bayley winning tonight was absolutely perfect. Mainly because of the fact that I'm not putting Rhea Ripley anywhere near that Raw Women's Championship until
Yeah, not
WrestleMania.
yet. Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm having her win the Rumble. That's her spot. That is her spot to get to the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. There's no other way. Getting her to the Royal Rumble would have been a nice surprise, but you're gonna have her in that Royal Rumble match itself, and you are gonna have her win that thing. If you're not gonna have her win that, obviously then the Elimination Chamber is her next best bet. But to me, that's where it all happens. The Royal Rumble, you make her win that thing, and you get her to that WrestleMania main event for the Raw
Yes,
Women's
sir.
Championship. No other way. So I thought Bayley was okay. Alexa Bliss was an easy call for that main event. Mainly because Becky, she's not going to be in that position just yet, at least not upon her return.
Yeah.
And then Nikki Cross, there's nothing against Nikki Cross. I like Nikki, I really do, but we're not going to have Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble. That's just not a Royal Rumble type match. To me, at least. And it's nothing against her. I just didn't really feel like that was going to be the right plan. But Alexa winning tonight was the perfect call for the main event.
I mean, yeah. Like we said, they mainly focus on the women's. Of course, many people think that the women's matches were a highlight because I'm pretty sure that was their goal for tonight,
Yeah.
as you could tell with the rest of the card. I mean,
Right.
obviously the Bobby and Seth thing,
That was
which
good.
yeah, I was freaking. I never thought I'd see Petey Williams taking a spear like that in
He
2022.
sold that shit too.
Yeah,
I admire Petey for doing that.
he
He,
Petey
he
sold it like rent
like Anna
was
Pierce said,
due.
he got like Anna Pierce said, he nearly got folded in half. So, or
Yeah.
broken in half, really. Um, but yeah, no, I thought that match next week for the number one contendership for the U.S. title, that's gonna be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We're really gonna be getting a lot of number one contenders next week. For the U.S. for the Raw Women's Championship. I mean, we're going to be getting some number one contenders for the Rumble. It's going to be very interesting to see the Rumble card at the end of all of this because we're most
Yeah.
likely going to get a Raw Women's Championship. The United States
Mm-hmm.
title is going to be on the line. I do believe that Roman is defending that championship. A lot of people are trying to kind of it's contemplating right now because of everything that happened inside War Games with the whole busted eardrum or whatever from KO. But I
Mm-hmm.
think we will still have that match take place. I think it's going to be those 3 matches and the Rumble matches.
feel like there needs to be.
Because
Okay,
the Rumble
let's
matches are at
say,
least going to take 2 hours of the show.
yeah. List the ones you said again.
The World Heavyweight title, one, with
Yeah.
Roman and KO. We got the Rollins title
Yeah.
and the US title.
Yeah.
And then the 2 Rumbles.
I feel like they need to put the IC title on there.
I would love it. I really do
I
think that
need them to
Gunther
put
should
that
be
there.
involved somewhere.
Ricochet versus Gunther in the IC title match Rumble would be really good. And I feel like it needs to be there.
That's right, because Ricochet did win the World Cup. Yeah, I mean, you can make it for the
Yeah.
Rumble.
Also, because Gunther hasn't defended that title on pay per view at least since Clash at the Castle, right?
I believe so. Yeah, that's the last time, I think.
And remember, we started having the same problem last time when Vince was still in charge. That title not being defended on pay per view for a whole calendar year.
Right.
So we don't want to get that
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we should have that. We should have that in there too.
Yeah, I think 4 matches and 2 Rumbles is a good card for that.
Yeah. And they're all high profile matches. I mean, you're gonna have. As much as I love Bobby, I think Seth wins next week. I do.
Honestly, I even feel Seth winning, yes, and then I feel a Rumble. I feel like Roman and KO needs to open it.
He's either I want
it to open it because I want Roman to stare down whoever wins it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rumble for the men has to end it.
The only way I would accept the men's Rumble not main eventing is if whoever won it came down and stared down Roman at the end of the main event. Yeah. That is the only way I would accept the men's Rumble not main eventing.
If, like, let's say the Rumble was, like, right before that Roman match with KO, maybe having the Rumble winner stare down with Roman and pointing to the sign at WrestleMania. I mean, that you can legitimately scream The Rock at that point, but like that. We're not doing that right now. We're not even trying to focus on The Rock and the Royal Rumble at that point. But yeah, I mean, either Roman starts the show or ends the show. That's basically what he has been doing all throughout his 2 years as champion. But if honestly, over the last few years, we started with the Rumble and ended with the Rumble, I would not be shocked if we did the same thing here.
Yeah. Rumble, Roman, IC, US Women's, and then Rumble again. Yeah.
I think we start and end with that, and then we'll see where things go from there.
Hey, make sure y'all book this episode, because what if I'm right and that's the exact lineup of the card? That'd be wild. That'd be wild.
It would kind of be weird though, seeing Roman as the second match on the card. That's usually how he would usually do things. But honestly, that would be really cool to see. Either way, though, I think it's going to be a great Rumble match. I think it's going to be a great Rumble card. And with that possibility of it, there was a possibility, or at least some kind of inkling, that we could see a Hell in a Cell match at the Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, over the next few weeks, if KO and Roman really do continue to just go at it, or KO and the Bloodline really, and it does force them to go inside Hell in a Cell, we'll see where things go from there. I'm liking it. It's just we gotta build that up to get to a Hell in a Cell, because right now that does not constitute a Hell in a Cell match whatsoever. But we got weeks. We got weeks to do it. We got weeks to do it mainly because it's at the end of freaking January that this starts at. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think Rumble's gonna be great. But yeah, we had Monday Night Raw tonight. We were live at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. How did you feel about the crowd tonight? I didn't think they were too bad. Some stuff they were kind of just, dead for. I mean, obviously, when you have Dominic and Akira Tozawa, nobody's really going to give a shit about that. But I thought the crowd was not too bad tonight.
Yeah, they were pretty good. I mean, they were better than some of the other crowds would get. Yeah. I hate when a crowd's dead. sucks the atmosphere, sucks the life out of the whole event. Like, it's the one thing I hate about wrestling shows if the crowd is dead.
The one thing I do hate about Monday Night Raw, and I'm sorry for all you KP fans out there, Kevin Patrick, get him the fuck off commentary. I don't like him there.
Do
I
those
don't
even
like him in that
exist?
spot. Huh?
Do KP fans even exist?
There have been some. I've seen some on Twitter, and Twitter's a cesspool anyway. But um,
Like, don't get me wrong, he's not a bad
KP is not
dude.
in on
It's just
commentary.
not on commentary. Backstage, love him. Commentary, no.
When he was doing the backstage like interviews and all that stuff, he was great because he had like a comedic factor. Anytime
Hmm.
he was with Kevin Owens, it's fantastic. I mean, he
And
does the
especially
whole
on the
thing there.
kickoff shows too, when he had Booker on there, Jerry Lawler, Kayla Braxton,
Like
and whoever else is on
he's
there.
good in those roles. But hearing him for 3 hours with Corey Graves is not the problem. And I
No,
know people think that Corey Graves is the problem, but he is not the problem.
yeah,
Um, it's really Kevin Patrick, and Kevin Patrick, I, he's not a voice. He's not the voice of Monday Night Raw. When you think
facts.
of the voice of Monday Night Raw, you think of people. I mean, obviously Michael Cole has been doing this for decades, um, but Michael Cole has really been the voice of Friday Night SmackDown over the course of the last few years. Um, Corey Graves, he really has to take that lead control because Kevin Patrick, he doesn't know much about this stuff. He's been the backstage guy for much of it all. Um, he's like, can you believe it? No, I can't believe it. And then and then Corey Graves has to cover this up. He's like, I can't believe it. This guy can't believe it. Like, it doesn't fit. It's not. It's not. And no pun intended, but it's not raw enough for like a commentary booth. Call up Morrow, give him all the zeros he wants,
Yeah,
and put him with Corey Graves. No, Mauro Ranallo.
bring that man back. Bring him back. You already
Mauro
know.
Ranallo. Mauro and Corey would be fantastic. Oh my god, just think of the banter. Um, but Kevin Patrick just does not do it for me, man. But yeah, Kevin Patrick. Yeah, that has to be Bruce. That has to be Bruce. Has to be. I don't. Bruce, what the fuck are you doing, man? Do you like bad commentary? Do you like that?
I mean, look at some of the stuff he's pitched over the years. Of course he does. Of course he does.
I don't know why. It's not making my experience any better. I like Corey Graves. Corey Graves is great. But when he has to cover up everything about KP and what he's doing, it's not a good look. It's not. And honestly, I give props for Corey for doing that. But it's not his job to cover him up every single 5 seconds. Because he sounds very unnatural to me. He does not sound natural at all.
he he sounds. You know what he sounds like? I just had it too. God damn it. You, you know how this is gonna sound really bad. To me, he kind of
Fine.
sounds like a drive-through worker who's worked a 12-hour shift and is really just done with life.
Yes. Yes. That's perfect. Oh, I just don't get it. I really don't understand.
Hey, not everyone can be Michael Cole. You know, someone
No,
needs to kick her ass.
at least he brings the intensity. At least he brings the energy.
Michael Cole
KP,
is the JR of this generation.
yeah, yes.
With the way he just like wants all these heels to get their asses whooped.
At least he brings the energy. KP, I feel like
Mm,
he doesn't even try.
not at
He
all.
doesn't. But
Honestly, Bring back
Yeah,
Jimmy
well,
Smith. Jimmy Smith and Corey is a good combo.
I mean, he wasn't bad.
Yeah, and
I
Jimmy
didn't, I
knew
didn't.
his shit though too.
Yeah, Jimmy knew his stuff because of his prior experience. Um, I, I just want that. I want that voice of Monday Night Raw back.
Hmm.
I just don't feel like we haven't had that for a little while yet. Obviously with commentators moving around and everything like that, we haven't had that in a while. Um, Obviously Michael Cole staying on Friday Night SmackDown, that's easily his spot, and he should stay there. He needs that. Um, but they've tried so many times and so many different people for Monday Night Raw, and it just hasn't worked. There's just something that needs to be done in that department, and Jimmy Smith could possibly be the answer again, but
Hmm.
I think he's not even in WWE anymore.
Hmm.
He left, or he didn't leave. I think he got released, so uh, he's not even there anymore. There, there's just something that needs to be done. KP is just not the answer. Um, but you know what was the what was an incredible answer was this whole entire thing when it came to the WWE Tag Team Title match.
Hmm. Hmm.
During everything that was happening, Elias met the Usos solo and Sami Zayn at the SUV that drove to the arena. And Byron Saxon was going to ask them a question, and as Saxon was in mid sentence, Matt Riddle he took him by surprise as he was running through them with his scooter. The Bloodline are just pissed off as usual, and Elias came around the corner, but Solo Sikoa blindsided him and threw him into metal barricades.
Hmm.
Jey Uso says, Washington D.C., the Bloodline are now in your city. That's usually been their thing now. Over the course of the last few times when Roman is not there and the Bloodline is being represented by the Usos, Solo, and Sammy, that has been their new tagline of the Bloodline being in their city. Jimmy Uso says that they've got some bad news because the tag team title match that was supposed to be taking place tonight has now officially been canceled. The crowd boos, obviously. And then Jimmy says everyone came to see the Bloodline compete, and he understands that, but the bright side is Riddle doesn't have to be humiliated, and Elias can work on his song all he wants. The Usos can concentrate on being the best tag team champions in the history of this business. Every tag team in the locker room are the twos, and they are the ones. Matt Riddle's music then hit, and Riddle came out to the stage and says that it wasn't cool for them to take out his tag partner. It was Elias's first chance to get some WWE gold. Riddle says that like the blood. He doesn't think the bloodline would have run from a fight. That's not very oozy. And then Sammy said, "Hold up, my dog, my dog. You don't know what's oozy and you don't know what's not. Okay, that's just not how you. That's just not what you are. I am a certified usologist. I love that. I love that. I am a certified usologist and will tell him what is and isn't Usi. Solo Sikoa showing up once again as being the enforcer of the bloodline. That's Usi. The Usos continuing to be the longest reigning tag team champions in history. That's Usi. Riddle coming out here and running his mouth thinking he ever had a chance of beating the bloodline. That's not very Usi.
Hmm. Not at all.
Unless Riddle wants to suffer the same fate as his tag team partner, Zayn suggests Riddle to turn around and go home. Riddle then says that he did find a tag team partner, however. There will be a tag team championship match tonight. Riddle says that he doesn't get along with his tag team partner. And while they're not really bros, they have a common bond of hating the bloodline.
Yeah.
Everything right there, and I know Randy's not coming back, but everything that he was saying pointed to Randy Orton so much, I was like, holy shit, we might actually do it. And then KO's music hit, and I was like, oh, okay. Actually, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Everything you was saying was about Randy Orton, and then all of a sudden KO. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's true too. We miss you, Randy. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, KO being out there with Riddle, that was a nice surprise, and it made a lot of sense for the story with Sami Zayn.
There we go.
Are you good?
Yes. I was checking out
Okay.
some. Yeah.
Okay.
LaGreca left me on red. What the hell?
Come on, Dave.
I should call it and bust it open tomorrow and be like, what the heck, Dave?
How'd you feel about KO being the tag partner? I mean, it made sense in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. I don't know why I was thinking of Randy, but it just felt like everything was kind of pointing to Randy. But KO was a nice surprise too.
Yeah. I like it because it's obviously going to help fuel the KO versus Roman storyline.
Right. And it's the whole thing with Sami and KO too.
Yeah. Because you just know there's going to be a big blow off in the end.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out like where each little like puzzle piece is being planted.
That bloodline turn on Sami Zayn, I'm telling you, man, it's
Mhm.
gonna be so emotional.
Gonna suck.
Grown men are gonna be crying in that arena that night when it happens. Whether that happens on a Raw, whether that happens on a SmackDown, whether that happens, at a pay-per-view or wherever. Grown men
It's
are gonna
gotta
be
happen
crying in
soon.
that arena. Huh?
It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen soon because the reports are that Sammy is supposed to face Roman at Chamber.
Yes.
So it's gotta happen soon.
Either it happens during the build of the Elimination Chamber, or they do this whole thing. I had a crazy, it's not really technically my theory, but I heard a theory, an Austin theory. Shout out to him. He did great tonight, by the way. That what if Sammy won the Rumble?
Yeah.
All right, just go with me here. And then somehow, some way, and this was before the whole, reports came out of Sammy getting a shot at Roman at the EC. What if, with everything on the line and everything like that, Sammy somehow was forced by Roman, because he's a part of the bloodline, to put up his Rumble spot in the Elimination Chamber. And if you're really a part of this family here, and if you really want to be in all of this, you put your spot on the line. And if you stay, and if you win that chamber, then you'll know exactly what to do when it comes to WrestleMania. You know exactly what you are. There was something about that when I heard it. I was like, interesting that he wins the Rumble and then he's being forced by Roman because I don't think he really understands how much of a threat Sammy could have been to put it inside the chamber. I don't know. I kind of felt it was a little bit interesting there. Um, do I think that's happening? No, I highly doubt. I think Cody's winning that Rumble regardless. but,
Yeah,
um, but yeah, it felt very interesting seeing a Sammy winning the Rumble, and then having to be forced to put that spot on the line in the chamber. Um, I don't know. There's some things going on there, but I thought KO and Sammy, I think they're getting that tag team championship match at WrestleMania regardless.
oh, yeah, for sure. And the Usos got to drop it there. They got to
Yes,
drop it. Yeah.
yes. Um, you gotta drop it there. Um, now there's obviously been reports of Roman, uh, competing on both nights. Like I've been saying over the last 5 months, that I've been wanting this to happen, uh, but regardless, him being on both nights at WrestleMania, night one against the Rumble winner, night two against The Rock, or vice versa, you do it. And they're planning on doing it like that. Roman's Roman's competing on both nights, and it's looking like that ever so often now.
What was I gonna say? Fuck. Could yeah. Imagine imagine if we get swerved. Remember how last year at this time we were like, oh yeah, Rock's for sure gonna appear at the Rumble and start at the feud with Roman for Mania 38? What if it doesn't happen again? What if Rock does not show up? What do we do then?
Then you're not having the match.
Like at this point,
Because
if he's not here, it's not happening.
then you're not having the match because the the Rock is 50 years old. You do the match now. Because if you don't, it's never going to happen. The Rock is not going to be wanting to wrestle at the age of 51, 52 years old when he already has his money in the bag when it comes to his movies. You
Yeah,
do
you
the
know what?
match now, or you don't do it at all.
Here's what needs to happen. Rock needs to show up. The match happens. Roman beats The Rock. And you know what happens? Tribal Chief is gone. Because you know who's taking his spot? King of the fucking islands. Roman just beat the man who put the family's name on the map. He is above everyone else. He's no longer the tribal chief. He's king of the tribe. He is your Samoan king. He sees himself better than the elders. That's what needs to happen. This is the next level in Roman's evolution.
Well, Roman's being The Rock. I fully
Oh, yeah,
believe
for
that he's
sure.
going to be put over. Like he's beating The Rock. And we'll get to the tag team championship match in a second, guys. Don't worry. But when it comes to the 2 nights of Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, because that is what's being the whole thing right now, I always had it as you have the Royal Rumble winner go on night one, and then you have The Rock and Roman on night two, meaning because if you're doing that type of a caliber matchup, that's the final thing that we are going to see at WrestleMania.
Hmm.
Now, because of just how high caliber that is, and it's The Rock and Roman, it's the head of the table, it's the cousins, all that thing. But then people were bringing to my attention of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hmm.
He wrestled on night one last year.
There's
He
also
wasn't the final thing that we saw he wasn't the final thing that we saw last year, and it was the main event with Kevin Owens on the KO show, which turned into honestly a really good match between the two. The Rock wrestling on night one, whether it's when it's Cody Rock 1-2 or Rock Cody night 2, don't care. I really don't care what order. You're just doing those two people. And that's just how it's going to be, because those are really the only two matches that make sense.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you're doing The Rock, you're doing it now. Otherwise, you're not doing it ever. It's just the way it has to be. Whether you do it Rock Cody or Cody Rock, those are the only two.
As long as it gets done.
And Cody and Roman writes itself.
Oh, fuck's sake, yeah. The family
Two
business?
families,
Yeah.
two families, two people born in this business. Cody, born in the Rhodes family, trying to win the championship that his father never could. Not never could, but he just never got a chance to do so. Roman, born into the Anoa'i family, obviously positioned as the guy within the company over the last few years, maybe even a decade at this point, and you see the rise of this man and how he's been going up from somebody in 2015 that was absolutely booed to the rafters in Philadelphia, where The Rock actually tried to save the billing, to now. And he's on the top of his game, prominence of the entire career, 2-year long reign. It writes itself. Two
Yeah.
families clashing together, and you got that story. And Cody's going to make a great story out of it. Roman's a heck of a storyteller in the ring, whether anybody likes his matches or not. It's golden, and it makes sense. And I've been pushing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Or not 2 years, but 2 years ago, Cody was in AEW, but I've been pushing for it ever since Cody came back at WrestleMania last year.
Oh,
It makes sense. It has the story. You do it. It is what it is. But the tag team championship match was great. I thought it was a great way to kick off the show. KO was great. Riddle's always fun to see out there. The Usos are easily one of the best tag teams in the entire world right now. Depending on who you talk to, they are the best. How'd you feel about this tag match?
I like Usos won that. To me, at least I've never seen him put on a bad match, and this didn't change tonight. There were moments. Let's be honest. No one really thought the Usos were going to lose tonight,
Right.
but KO really did make you think that. He really wanted to make you think that.
Yeah.
And then, like I said at the beginning, my favorite part of the whole damn thing was Solo trying to absolutely put Riddle on a fucking t-shirt at the end.
Yeah,
Because that shit was wild.
we will get to that for sure, yeah.
But yeah, it was a solid tag match in my opinion, and Usos retain 1, 2, 3 after the one and done. So
Yep.
yeah,
So Riddle and Jay tagged in. Riddle attacks Jay, but Jay soon kicks him off. Jay then knocks Riddle into the ropes and charges, but Riddle then pulls himself out of the ring with a Hurricane Rana. Owens then runs over, but Solo Sikoa gets in his face. Riddle wipes out Sikoa with a diving senton. Jay then quickly takes Owens out with a super kick. Riddle then boots Jay and yells at Sammy. Jimmy then blind tags in. Jimmy grabs Riddle, but Riddle knocks him back. Jay super kicks Riddle, and then we have the 1D, 1, 2, 3, and we are good to go. A retention of the WWE Undisputed Tag Team titles, and they are still your champions. The Bloodline then begin to attack Matt Riddle. KO then runs the Usos and Sami Zayn away from everything. But Solo Sikoa is still there. They have a steel chair. Sikoa attacks Riddle with a super kick. Sikoa then tightens his thumbs like good old Umaga would do, and he connects Riddle with a Samoan spike. a la Umaga, R.I.P. to the homie right there. Um, great tribute. Um, it was 13 years yesterday, which is insane. 13 years ago yesterday that he's been
Mhm.
away from this earth. But Sikoa then hit a running hip attack in the corner, goes outside. He puts a chair around Riddle's neck and head area, and he has another hip attack on Riddle with the chair, and then he leaves. Um, this effectively written off Riddle on Raw tonight. I highly doubt. Like this is some way to write him off. I don't know what the writing off of him is for, but whatever it is, go handle your business. Just go handle it. Um, but this was definitely a write off to me. It definitely felt that way, at least. Oh yeah, and then EMT is obviously with a neck brace and everything. They put him on a gurney. They sent him off. Like I said, this was basically a write off for Riddle.
Mhm. How long do you think he's gonna be out for though?
I got no idea. I mean, they're selling it as a pretty severe neck injury with him going to the hospital. They actually say hospital now on WWE television. They don't say medical facility. Um, because hospital was like a banned word for all those years while Vince was in charge. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe you do a return at the Rumble. I mean, that's basically a 2 month injury.
Yeah.
Um, maybe you can have him return in the Rumble. So to speak, you have something going on with the Bloodline. The Bloodline are gonna easily control that Rumble somehow until Cody gets on in there. Um, I don't know. Maybe you do something in the Rumble. Um, I mean that's my best guess, but I don't know. What do you think? You got any guesses?
I'm trying to think. I'm stumped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's hard because when Vince was in charge, you could just think of that shit, and but with
Right.
Triple H, it's you don't know now. Fuck.
I mean, my best guess is the Rumble, mainly because it's a 2 month. You
Yeah.
got 2 months right there off the
If
shelf.
not, probably the Raw before Rumble to announce that he's going to be in it.
True, you
Yeah.
can do that. Yeah,
Unless Randy just
it's a
comes
great.
back like Superman and he comes and Riddle like same thing. Raw before Rumble is like, yeah, we're gonna take those titles from you at the Rumble or something. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I want Randy to come back so badly during this somehow road to WrestleMania, so we can actually get Riddle and Randy at Mania, because that is what we were supposed to be building towards this entire freaking time, and obviously things just went to shit. But regardless, um, whatever they're planning for Riddle is going to be something big. I, I highly doubt Riddle's. I highly doubt Riddle's just going to be missing on that card for Mania. Something has to happen.
Hmm.
I, I mean, I know the whole plan all along was supposed to get Randy and Riddle, but Triple H has to have at least something for the guy. He's been killing it over the last year.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
even if damn, what?
I don't even know where he would fit in though. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe if the Money in the Bank is back at WrestleMania, you could put him in that spot.
true. That is very true.
Because other
What?
than that, I really don't see him going for the Raw Tag Team title. He's definitely not going for the Raw Women's Championship. Um, I don't see him going for the Raw Tag. Um, I don't really see him in the U.S. title picture again. I feel like
Mm-mm.
that would honestly be a downgrade. Um, and he's obviously not facing Roman at WrestleMania. Money in the Bank is the best bet for him.
Yeah,
If that happens at WrestleMania, which I do believe it could or should. Um, Women's Money in the Bank on one night, men's Money in the Bank on the other. You do that thing. Um, See, it just fits. The Money in the Bank at WrestleMania fits, especially with the 2 night thing.
yeah.
Um,
It yeah. It just feels right. Also.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I thought the intensity of Solo Sikoa tonight was incredible. The homage to the late great uncle of Umaga was fantastic. He just reminds me of an Umaga anyway.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
in his attire, in the way that he just is standing there all stoically and all that stuff. It's Umaga, and then he does the whole thing too. So like you see it in everything that he does.
Even the face paint too.
Yes, the face paint, him not wearing any shoes. I finally caught him not wearing shoes or not wearing anything like on his feet last week, and I'm like, when the heck did he start doing that? And they're like, Phil, he's always been doing that. I'm like, oh well, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just oblivious then. Um, but yeah, I mean, like in everything that he does, it's Umaga, and I think that's great. I like obviously paying homage and the family is one thing, and it's great and all, but when you're really focusing and driving it on that one person that has been an influence to you your entire life, so to
Hmm.
speak, and his uncle, it makes it all the more special.
Yeah. Especially on the, well, not on the anniversary of, but the day after the anniversary of his passing.
Yeah, it was cool. Um, so we come back from commercial break as we see Becky Lynch. She will be battling Alexa and Nikki Cross in a triple threat match. Asuka, Bayley, and Rhea Ripley are also going to be competing in in another triple threat match, and the winner of those 2 matches will face each other next week to determine the number 1 contender for Bianca's Raw Women's Championship. So the winner of the 2 triple threats meet next week. Winner of that match gets the title shot. It may,
I'm trying.
wording somehow it doesn't make sense, but it
Yeah.
actually all does make sense when it actually does work out. Um,
Yeah. The way I see it is
just winners,
basically a one.
yeah,
We're rocking with the semifinals right now. The winner of
yes,
each triple threat goes to the finals, essentially. You feel me? Yeah. Yeah.
yes. 2 triple threats, winner of those gets a shot at a chance for the Women's title. Rhea Ripley is backstage with the Judgment Day. Bayley and Asuka uh, are not Rhea Ripley. When she finishes with Bianca Belair, Ripley says that the locker room will call her mommy. I think everybody calls her mommy anyway.
Hmm.
I think we're cool. Replays are shown of the vicious attack by Solo Sikoa being perpetrated onto Matt Riddle, and Riddle was stretchered out of the arena to put in an ambulance to go to a local medical facility or hospital now. They say hospital. We then had the whole JBL Poker Invitational. I didn't give 2 shits about this. I'm not a poker guy. I've never played poker. I know what poker is. I've seen it all go down. Trust me, I've definitely seen it all go down in my family.
Hmm.
But I didn't give a shit about any of this. Especially with the people that they had involved. They had Dominic Mysterio in there, which I don't know why a 25-year-old is in the whole room with like a
Like
bunch of
poker
adults.
match, yeah.
They had the OC in there. They obviously had Corbin because he's apparently the wrestling god, which he's not. Um, they had Alpha Academy in there. They had Akira Tozawa in there. Um, it, I didn't care. I really didn't care. I don't care for JBL at all in any of this. JBL does not deserve to be on TV in 2022. But I mean, it's happened. The only good part about all of this was Dexter Lumis. I mean, Dexter Lumis, he just throws his purse of money on the table, dumps it, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do this thing." Dexter was really the only thing that's a part of all of this.
Oh, fuck. God damn it, Phil, it's happening again. Shit.
Huh?
It's happening again. God damn it.
Oh.
For once, I can't blame it on Ronda Rousey. God. I'm just waiting on them to bring up Indy Hartwell. Give me the full way back. Well, minus
Please.
Austin Theory because he's heel right now, but eventually
Yes.
he'll come around. Yeah.
You really do think that he'll come around with the whole way thing?
At some point.
I mean, it would be very interesting. Bayley made her way down to the ring. All of a sudden, Becky Lynch is interrupting her. She's in the crowd again. The man of the people, obviously. Comes out to greet Bayley. Bayley tells her to hurry her ass up because she has some things to do other than this. Lynch says that she wants to catch up, but Bayley says Bayley was the queen of the Thunderdome era. Bayley says that Lynch doesn't care about anybody. She doesn't care about the people or the WWE. I feel like she's trying to speak about somebody else, but she's talking about Becky here. Bayley is looking at the bigger picture. All Lynch sees in the mirror is herself. Bayley then says that the crowd has no respect for what she's trying to do for this place. I have a lot of respect for Bayley. I do. I've been a huge Bayley fan for years. Hell, even before WWE. Okay, I've been a huge fan of Pamela. I love her. So I don't know where she's getting this whole we thing from. I love her. I don't know about anybody else. So Lynch has said 2/3 of damage control have been successful. Lynch says 2 champions and 1 loser. Lynch says that she hopes Bayley wins her match and they go 1-on-1 to make some history. That's if Bayley is woman enough to face the man. Lynch then walks off, but Rhea Ripley's music hits. Ripley approaches Lynch and they stare down at each other. They stare each other down for quite a while. It was definitely a long period of time for them staring down at each other. Siri, I never even said your name. Siri activated. So they were all talking back and forth. Ripley finally walks off and completes her entrance, and we get into this triple threat match with Asuka, Bayley, and Rhea Ripley. Asuka, I felt like had no entrance. At least I didn't see it.
Oh shit! This is the part where I had to leave the house, so I really missed most of Raw from this point on, and I had to tune in at glimpses. So
I did not see an Asuka entrance. So if there was an Asuka entrance, it's very quick. But I did not see one.
that's weird.
And usually Asuka would get an entrance, so that's very surprising to me. Ripley headbutt Bayley a few times before hitting a Northern Light suplex for a 2 count. Ripley then ducks a kick from Asuka and hits an electric chair facebuster for a very close near fall. Ripley, she's just shocked in all of this. She quickly drop kicks Bayley off the ring apron before going outside. Ripley leaps off the steps and tries to do a cannonball on Bayley, but Bayley moves out of the way. Ripley hits hard on the floor below. Bayley then gets into the ring and rolls Asuka up for a 2 count. Asuka with some strikes onto Bayley before missing a missile drop kick. As Bayley sidesteps and crushes Asuka with the rose plant for the win, and Bayley picks up the win and moves on into the triple threat match, to the singles match next week, I should say. So, yeah. After that, Ripley goes inside the ring and attacks Asuka post match. And yeah, she hits a riptide on Asuka before walking off. So Ripley's pissed. And that is why I really do think that now she is definitely winning that Rumble because of her intensity shown after the match. The commentators after a commercial break showed Drew McIntyre's tweet from earlier on today. I don't know if anybody was on Twitter earlier on today, but Drew McIntyre is apparently medically disqualified from competing on Friday Night SmackDown this coming week. So, Butch will be his replacement in the Undisputed Tag Team title match with the Usos on Friday Night SmackDown. So it's Butch and Sheamus versus the Usos on SmackDown on Friday.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Whatever it is for Drew McIntyre, I hope it's not too serious. So, we then this entire thing between Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins was just insane. I really don't even know where to begin. So Seth obviously made his way down to the ring. He'll face Bobby next week to determine the number 1 contender for the U.S. title. Rollins welcomes us to Monday Night Rollins. Rollins says that he'll be going one-on-one with the almighty Bobby Lashley next week, and the winner will be the new number 1 contender for the U.S. title. Rollins has plenty of things to say to Bob, but since he's not here, that's not fun. But Rollins is in DC. He wants to have fun. So have fun singing my song. And they begin to sing. Until Bobby's music hits. And Bobby is here. Lashley says that he is here and wants to know what Rollins wants to tell him. Lashley warns him to be careful with what he says. Rollins says that Lashley hasn't been the same since he lost to Brock Lesnar. There's no shame in losing to Brock, but what is the obsession with him? Is Lashley scared of Brock? Lashley says he knows what Rollins is trying to do and has to get under his skin. Rollins says that Lesnar has a career Lashley wishes that he had. So again, just digging it in there. Lashley then grabs him and says, "This isn't about Lesnar. This is about him, Rollins, the U.S. title. That should be around his waist." Rollins says that the title won't fill the void left in Lashley's heart because he can't beat him. Rollins says that Lashley doesn't get his head right. Beating him next week is going to be easier than it was the first time around. Lashley then just clocks Rollins in the face. Just clocks him. Rollins then quickly pops up, and they begin to brawl. They're brawling back and forth, everything happening. WWE officials then break it up. Rollins breaks through and attacks Lashley again. They break it up again. And then Lashley, running with all his power, trying to get to Rollins with a spear, but Rollins pulls the WWE official in harm's way and accidentally spears producer, and Rollins gets out of the ring and shouts out, Lashley has really done it now. I thought this segment was great. I really did. I thought all the intensity from everybody was really cool here. Rollins digging it in a lot to Bobby Lashley about the whole Brock Lesnar thing really settled things going for me. And it was just a very strong segment between Bobby and Seth, and I can't wait for the match next week.
How do you think that match is going to end? Is it going to be a clean win, or do you think?
I highly doubt it's going to be clean. I highly doubt it's going to be clean. Something's going to happen. I think Theory is actually going to be on commentary for this match somehow. I think somehow Theory is going to get involved one way or another. Something's happening to where it's like some kind of a screwy finish to where Rollins gets the win.
Yeah.
I just don't see it really being clean, because you really can't. At this point in time, with the way that Bobby Lashley looks, you can't beat him clean. That would send him really far back.
Yeah. Oh.
Hi. Blow my mind. I got you. But yeah, there's something that has to happen with the screwy finish. I mean, the whole thing about accidentally spearing the WWE producer, though, I mean, that has to be involved in the story somehow, because the Rumble's not until the end of January.
Yeah.
So maybe they extend this a bit. Maybe the match doesn't actually happen next week, because maybe Rollins is like, he goes to WWE officials and says, hey, listen, you know, he speared you last week. Are you really going to reward him by giving him a U.S. Championship opportunity? Something has to happen with the producer thing.
He could go to the board of directors and say he feels like it's an unsafe work environment.
Yeah, you can do that too. I feel like crowning the #1 contender, like, shit, what happened? Oh yeah, like 6 weeks prior to the actual pay-per-view itself is kind of like, all right, well, either we're just really prepared, or this is just going to be a really long, drawn-out story to the Rumble. It kind of just feels out of place there. I think we extend it somehow. I do. I don't think we're getting a #1 contender next week.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Saxon was with Austin Theory. This is where kind of things went a little bit off the rails here. Is Theory said a few challengers to his reign are nothing when the forever is just beginning. Theory then bumps into Mustafa Ali. Ali says that Theory is writing checks that his mouth can't cash in. He's like, oh shoot, wait, maybe cashing in is not the right kind of wording that you kind of had in mind. Ali says that if anything, I've had to fight for my opportunities here. Ali will keep getting back in the face and win the United States Championship. Theory tells him to get ready because after tonight, Theory doesn't ever want to hear the word opportunity come out of his sorry mouth ever again. Theory's great. His promo skills have easily gone up since this whole Money in the Bank thing happened. That Money in the Bank was holding him back. Because this is the real Austin Theory now. And I have to ask you, has anybody ever really brought up the whole Money in the Bank mishap ever since all this new Austin Theory thing started to come around?
Not at all.
Exactly. So this whole Money in the Bank fiasco of him losing the Money in the Bank in the way that he did looked fucking stupid. I'm not discrediting that. That was a terrible way to go about things. But Triple H had no fucking choice.
Yeah.
He had no choice. He was obviously not beating Roman. They did the thing that they had to do, and that is perfectly fine. But now that he is in the position that he is right now, nobody gives a fuck what happened to him on Money in the Bank. He is perfectly fine, and he'll always be fine. Theory is a Triple H guy. He hired him. He and Regal hired Theory. So obviously he has high praise for the kid. Oh, sorry, not kid. You're a man now.
Yeah.
With the beard. But he obviously has high praise for him. So he was never going to be buried. This is the right Austin Theory.
Do you think he could be a world champion one day?
In a couple of years. I'm not in a couple of years. What I would do you can have him even be Money in the Bank, be in Money in the Bank again. You can have him be in that. But what I would do, King of the Ring.
Oh. Okay.
I do King of the Ring because honestly, at that point in time, you can really see what he can do with that type of a character, and then you can bring him in around the Money in the Bank again, or just somewhere down the line get things going on for him because he is a future world champion. There's no doubt about that. It just wasn't right then and there. He was not ready for that spot, and obviously Vince saw something a lot more different
than literally everyone else.
literally anybody else in the entire world. But it's not that I never thought of him as less of a world champion. I knew he could be, but it just wasn't at that time. He is definitely a future world champion, though, to me. Easily. But for me, King of the Ring.
Yeah.
I knew it there. I think that's going to be a perfect spot for him, and it fits everything of his caliber. He is the future, a future King of the Ring. Things could go really well for him. Yeah, he had a match for the U.S. title with Ali, and while this was not bad by any means, it ends in freaking disqualification from Dolph Ziggler for no fucking reason. I don't understand why. I like seeing Ziggler. Don't get me wrong. I do. Shout out to you, Renee. It's not that I don't like seeing Ziggler. It's just this made no fucking sense. I don't get it.
Was it? Remind me again. Was it a clean or screwy finish?
Oh, it was a disqualification. Ziggler threw Theory out of the ring which calls for the referee to do DQ.
Wait, because he threw him out of the ring?
Yes. Yes.
How the fuck is that a DQ?
I got no idea. Ali stomps away at Theory before going to the top rope, but Theory sweeps his feet. Theory puts him into trio low, facing the apron, and stomps away at him. Theory punches away at Ali before the referee, pushes him back because he's obviously in the 1, 2, 3, 4 type of thing. Suddenly, Dolph Ziggler gets into the ring. He throws him out of the ring, right? And then hits a super kick on him. So he did hit a move on him, which does cause a disqualification. He hit a super kick, but he threw him out of the ring while the referee was dealing with Ali at the time. So Ziggler was not seen throwing Theory out of the ring and then hitting a super kick. He's like, and then ring the bell because she thought Ziggler did something. So Ziggler shouts at Theory while he was down on the outside, irate after, for whatever reason. He was just mad. He was just really mad. I don't know why he was mad. I didn't see why he was mad. Ali then turns him around. Ali is furious at Ziggler. Theory knocks Ziggler into Ali and viciously threw Ali into the ring post, shoulder first, in one of the most hellacious ways to be thrown into a ring post I have ever fucking seen. I don't know if it was Ali's selling of the entire thing, but it looked like his head hit the post and not his shoulder. Yeah. And he was holding like his shoulder and neck area too, so I was like, what really happened there? Maybe just a miscommunication there, but either way, it was pretty bad. Ali crashed at ringside because he was just thrown so viciously. Theory then hit Ziggler with the 8-count down before walking away. And Theory's still the United States champion, but it was just a DQ finish. It was an unadvertised U.S. title match. So the DQ finish, I guess, to me, was not too bad. But Ziggler just being there was just weird.
That's fair.
I don't know. I still like Theory. I think Theory's still in the great position. But if Ziggler is getting involved with Theory, how could we not see a Theory and Ziggler match at some point? Or maybe even an Ali and Ziggler match at some point too. Because they're doing something with the U.S. title between these three, but I don't see a triple threat again.
Yeah. But then you also got Bobby and Seth.
And you got
so
Bobby
what's
and
gonna
Seth.
happen?
The U.S. title is just flooded with people right now, and I think that's really cool because you really don't know what to expect. But when you have Ziggler, Ali, Rollins, and Lashley involved, something it has to be solved. Something has to give. That's what I was trying to figure out. Something has to give. We gotta find now one solid person.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm not seeing a triple threat again, and we're definitely not doing a fatal 5-way.
That'd be cool, but yeah, definitely not gonna happen. What if it's in a chamber match? But who would be the sixth person?
That's interesting. That's interesting. Ha-
Would would it
Correct
be
me if I'm
John?
wrong.
No, Johnny's kind of
We've
involved with
definitely had a
Miz.
U.S. title. Yeah.
I want to say
Um.
yes, but I don't know.
Have
Who
we
would
had a
be the
U.S. title
sixth
elimination
person
chamber
though?
before?
I feel like we have, but I also feel like it's highly no.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't know who would be the sixth person though. That is kind of very interesting to say,
Mm,
because that's five right there. Um. Hmm. All right, now you actually got me intrigued.
right?
Yeah, that's. I'm looking back at past elimination chambers. I'm back at 2020 right now. The
Mm,
the U.S. title match is kind of crazy. Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo for the U.S. title
what the
was in
fuck?
2020.
Jesus Christ!
Why the hell is Humberto Carrillo in the U.S. title picture? um, I don't. Oh no, I don't think it was the U.S. title that I was thinking of. We had it. We had an EC match for the IC title, Intercontinental title. I don't think
Mm,
we ever really had one for the U.S., or at least to my knowledge. I know we had one for the IC title for sure.
yeah,
I don't know, but maybe U.S. title IC could work in a way. We'll see. We will definitely see. It's definitely a very crowded room for the U.S. title at the moment, mainly
yeah.
because there's no Raw World title. There's no Raw World title, so there has to be a crowd
Which
room.
also needs to be fixed.
What do we need to talk about here? I mean, the poker invitational was still going on. They basically said, "Hey, you cheated. I didn't cheat. Fine, I'll see you in the ring." This was gonna lead into a six-man tag team match between the OC and Baron Corbin with Alpha Academy. Yeah, AJ Styles accused Baron Corbin of cheating, and then all of a sudden they wanted to fight in the room, but JBL said, "Listen, I told you guys for the 1,000th time already. No fighting in my invitational room.
That's
You either
fair.
settle it outside or you go in the ring." Like, fine. See you out there, bitch.
Damn.
And then went to the ring. Um, One thing I will say though about all of this, you know how Mia Yim was, the answer to the Ripley problem, right? Mia Yim's fully decked out in OC gear now, so she's in it. She's fully decked out in OC gear now, so she's in the OC. Period. She wasn't just brought in for the whole Rhea Ripley problem. She is legitimately in the OC now.
Mhm. She's a part of the club. She's a
She's
legend.
decked out in the whole red and black, in the whole thing, doing the sweets. Which I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying that she's just fully decked out now. She actually looks the part now, which is cool.
Mhm.
I saw her all in the red and black and everything like that, and then all of a sudden I see, like, how like names are basically the Titantron at this point now in
Mhm.
WWE, and I
Yeah.
saw Michin Mia Yim, in there, and I was like, oh, okay, there she is. She's actually in the OC now, which is cool. So that was pretty cool to see. Very standard 6-man tag. It wasn't really anything too out of the ordinary here. The OC won with a magic killer to Gable, and that was basically it. Wasn't really anything too special.
I mean, if you really thought the OC was going to lose, then you should rethink your life.
Right. I mean, it wasn't really anything too special. It was a great match for what it was, but the OC was winning that thing. So, we then were fighting back at the invitational room again. And he's like, listen, I'm not telling you guys this again. You either take it outside or you take it to the ring. Then Dominic just takes some poker chips and money off the table. And he's like, I'll see you in the ring. And then he leaves. And then Akira Tozawa's mad, of course. And he storms off. And then we get Akira Tozawa versus Dominic Mysterio. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Marissa, but I don't care. I don't care that Dominic's in a match with Akira Tozawa.
Not at all. Not at all.
And Dominic won. Dominic won. He hit a frog splash for the win. Then after the match, Finn Balor directed Dominic Mysterio to attack Tozawa some more, and that is when the Street Profits showed up. So I guarantee you, next week on Raw, if we do not see the Street Profits and Akira Tozawa versus the Judgment Day, I will be very shocked. But will I give a shit?
Not at all.
I won't. I love the Street Profits, I do. But when you're teaming up with Akira Tozawa, there's a fucking problem. I'm sorry. And there's nothing really against Akira Tozawa there. But it's against the fucking Judgment Day. What? The Judgment Day were doing so much better than this.
Yeah.
What
They're
happened?
about to enter a lull, and I need them to fight it.
What happened? What? And Dominic still does not look comfortable. He does not look comfortable in any of this.
Yeah.
He does not have the comfortability of speaking on the mic as a heel.
Yeah. He's still trying to find his place in the group, is what it feels like.
Right. He does not have any comfortability when it comes to speaking on the mic, when it comes to being a heel. He doesn't have like a cadence to him. He's not a kid, but he is a kid compared to that group. If you get what I mean in that sense.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley is treated like an absolute megastar and all that, right? Finn Balor, he's been there, he's done that. You know his pedigree and existence.
Mm-hmm. And that's why people hold us to a higher standard,
he's
too.
Obviously... Yes. Damian Priest, he's been there, he's done that. You know his pedigree and existence, and you know what he is used there for in the group as well. He is basically the enforcer of that group. Dominic Mysterio, what is he to me in this?
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, definitive spot for him. And that's nothing against him. He got put into this role very early on in his career, and I'm not saying that he can't turn this around, but he's young in his career. I'm glad they gave him a chance and an opportunity to get something under his belt. And him learning from Ripley, from Priest, from Balor is a great spot for him. But he just doesn't fit for me.
That's fair.
And he hasn't
That's
fit
very
for me
fair.
in quite some time.
What do you think he needs to do to fit in better?
I honestly, I think it's kind of too far gone. There's not much he can do. I know what they're trying to build for this, though. They're obviously trying to build Rey Mysterio versus Dominic at Mania. I have a feeling that's what they're doing. Somehow, some way, I think that's gonna have to be the case.
Okay.
I don't know how we get there. I don't know where things are gonna go in order to get him to that spot. And even if that is the case, Dominic versus Rey Mysterio, you can't have him be a part of the Judgment Day if you're doing that. To me.
How come?
So honestly, I see him out of the Judgment Day somewhere in between March, April. I don't see him in the Judgment Day anymore. I don't know how that's gonna happen. I don't know how they're gonna get him out of there. But if you're doing a match with Dominic and Rey Mysterio going up 1-on-1 with each other, I just don't see it happening.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm even really making any sense in any of this. Like, how do you feel about Dominic and Judgment Day so far? Because to me, like I said, it just hasn't fit. But maybe I'm just the only one.
I feel like he's holding back. I feel like he needs to let loose and get unhinged.
He's being held back because of it.
No, I mean like I feel like he's still feeling very timid. Like I need him to lead an attack
Oh, okay.
to the point where they feel the need to pull
Okay.
him back. Like, okay, maybe he's doing too much. Like I need him to go fucking psycho
Okay.
and really prove like Judgment Day is not to be fucked with. I am not to be fucked with. Don't care what my last name is.
The last name thing also has some kind of a gripe with me, and also he's still doing high flying shit.
Yeah, that needs to change
When
too.
you think of the Judgment
Especially
Day,
the
I
face
don't
turn.
think of high flying luchador style. He shouldn't be doing luchador stuff.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I get it. That's how he was trained. He's obviously with Rey Mysterio, and he was trained by his father. I get that. And that's his in-ring style, and that has been his in-ring style since the beginning. But if you're a part of Judgment Day, I'm taking away that.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least adding more stuff. Don't take anything away, because if you're taking things away, then you're obviously losing your identity. But just something has to be done.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but it's just the thing. Then we had the main event. The main event, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Becky Lynch. I thought this was the better of the triple threat for me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this one was leading into a lot more story, mainly because of Alexa Bliss. Because I will say this. During the course of the match, you know how Bray Wyatt did the whole leaning back of the opponent to send up for the Sister Abigail?
Mm-hmm.
Alexa did that tonight.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Alexa did that tonight. Um, and to the people that are trying to figure out like what the fuck is Phil talking about, she did that. And she did that. Uh, she did it during a sequence with Becky Lynch. Surprisingly enough, and she definitely got in there, just channeling in that inner Bray Wyatt type of whole thing there, and it definitely got the crowd to be like, oh shit, and then
Yeah.
she kind of snapped out of it and then just went back to her own move. But yeah, something's happening there. She didn't fully turn tonight, but there was definitely some kind of a random ass tease like that. Because you don't just do that and just make it lead into nothing. That was set for something.
Yeah.
So, an irate Becky Lynch gets on the apron and goes for the manhandle slam onto Nikki Cross. Cross holds the ropes, but the move was done anyway. So it looked very sloppy in the end. There was just some miscommunication there between Nikki and Becky, and the move looked very sloppy, but it was a manhandle slam on the apron. So, Lynch then rolls Cross back inside the ring, and then the WWE Tag Team Champions of the Women's Division, Dakota Kai and Io Sky of Damage Control, they run down through the crowd and pull Becky out of the ring.
Out.
They're attacking Becky. Huh? Yeah, so they just came out from the crowd, they attacked Becky. To do the bidding of Bayley, who won the she didn't win
Wait.
the
So
first
they,
triple
so
threat,
they
my bad, but
shield
she was
style.
doing the whole thing of Bayley. Basically, yeah. And
Did
they
they
even
put her
put
through a
Becky
table?
through the table too.
There we go.
Through
Yeah.
the announce
Okay.
table. So they announce so they attack Lynch and powerbomb her through the commentary table. It was a very and I feel so bad for these ladies too, because they're not the tallest of women in the world, so like anytime that they're like trying to like force her through the table, like they were already basically on the table enough as it was, and the table did break, but the actual flat surface of the table broke, caved in, right? But the rim of the table, it stayed together. The table was just not gimmicked right or whatever, because the whole foundation and like the framing of the table stayed together. It's just the middle part caved in. I felt so bad. I'm like, guys, not even the commentary table can actually do something right. But then again, the commentary table's in the Hall of Fame, so. So they put her through to the commentary table. Sky tripped and fell ribs first into the front of the table. It just looked really painful. I felt so bad. Like things just weren't working out for this commentary table. In the ring, Alexa Bliss went to the top rope. She hit Twisted Bliss and onto Cross, and that's how she won the match. Alexa Bliss will battle Bayley next week on Raw, and the winner will face Bianca Belair for that Raw Women's Championship.
Oh.
And that is that. The whole December 5th, 2022 edition of Monday Night Raw is complete. We got some matches heading into next week. And we are good to go. Like I said, very driven and focused episode on the women's division tonight. And we'll see where things go from there.
Well, all right.
That was a very okay episode of Raw. I thought the beginning portions of it and the endings were fantastic. The middle of the show, other than Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins, were kind of just a down point of the show. But Bobby and Seth, they did great. Everything else, fine. We'll see what's next week holds. The SmackDown though should be okay with that. With another edition of the tag team titles on the line. I don't know why we're getting so many tag team title matches, but it's cool, I guess.
I mean, the Usos hooping.
We'll see. We got a lot of weeks though heading into the Royal Rumble, so I'm not too scared of the whole build-up so far. We're legitimately just starting, so I'm not scared of this whatsoever. Am I ready for Christmas? No, I'm not. It's gonna happen. We are vastly approaching Christmas. I mean,
so
whether or not I'm ready.
Suspended?
Huh?
Why did Nate get suspended on TikTok again?
Oh, I mean, in his lives, he shows the screen. And people just do not people just don't like that, I guess, and they just report lives like that, and he got suspended again until Friday. I showed the screen one time on a live. While people liked that they actually got to see the show, other people were like, Phil, we'd actually like to see your reactions to some of this too, because before you weren't even showing the screen, you were showing your reactions. It was a very fun and genuine, reaction type of show. Ever since then, I've always just been showing my face again because people like to see my reactions more than the screen. So, I don't know. It's very interesting the way that people just enjoy lives or anything like that, but showing the screen is always a very risky business anyway on TikTok because copyright stuff too. But Nate will be back. Nate will be back on Friday, if anything. He's contemplating things right now, but I think he'll be back on Friday. And if not, he'll tell you anything about it. He'll tell you all the situations about it as well too. So, but yeah, that was your Monday Night Raw post show. We got Tuesday's Talk tomorrow. Wednesday's Dynamite. Friday's SmackDown. We'll see where things go from there. Uncle Howdy of Ducks Alexa Bliss. Maybe we do something with Uncle Howdy and Alexa. She did do the whole Sister Abigail thing, so we gotta wait and see for that. But yeah, that was it. I appreciate you for coming on the show tonight, man. I know it's very late. I'm going to bed as soon as I get the fuck off of this.
Oh, same. And, my body was trying to crash this whole time. I've been trying to fight it.
But I appreciate you for coming on, my man. and it's always fun talking wrestling with you, bro.
Oh yeah. And
All right, man.
for those of you in there, just know we got a little Christmas present coming for y'all soon. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
There's some things in the works that you guys are definitely going to be wanting to tune in for. So
yeah,
stay tuned for that, and
yeah.
we'll keep you all updated once we get all the kinks and workings in order, and we'll see where things go from there. But I appreciate you guys for coming on to the Monday Night Raw post show tonight. If I check our local, I was gonna say check our local listings. That's actually kind of crazy. If I check our whole, what the fuck, Jesus, I'm hearing myself again. Um, the light goal of 15 was not complete, but I get it. It's a Monday Night Raw post show. These aren't really all that too popular, but I do appreciate you guys for coming on in here. Um, 15 likes is going to be the minimum for this episode by the end of the week. I'll look at the end of the week on Friday. If I don't see 15 likes, I'm going to be mad at you guys. I'm going to be very mad. No, I'm not. I love you guys regardless. Um, just, stay safe. God bless. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for Tuesday's talk. I don't know what the fuck we're going to be talking about. Maybe I'll get some stories heading into the week. Uh, bring on some guests as usual and just shoot the shit, talk wrestling. We're good to go. Um, but yeah, that being said, we'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of the night. Stay safe. God bless. Peace.